Cord. All right, guys, we are back with soccer talk with Lauren, and we're going to. We should be in a great mood. I mean, we're a few days removed. We're late. I mean, we're like Lauren just said that it would be harder for us not to qualify for the World Cup, and I mean statistically that's true because they're throwing around 98, 99% probability of qualification in the current situation.
Yeah, I think it was honestly. I think we said in the last episode like 6 to 7 points is great, but here we are taking all 9. So I don't think it could have gone any better, honestly. And I think also like escaping with no major injuries is also a good thing as well.
Yeah. Okay, that's true. That's a good point. Yeah. This is actually funny. I mean, Adekubi's goal against the States was crazy. He's been playing so well.
Yeah.
He's so silky. This makes me want to tune into some games in Turkey and see what he does in the Turkish league.
Yeah, I gotta think too, like if he keeps performing well, like where is he gonna go, right? Like he's not gonna stay in the Turkish league forever, especially if he's like keeps the consistency. And I think we talked about that before, like that had kind of been his problem up until now, but he's been consistent. Like there's no reason that he can't kind of look to make a jump somewhere.
Right. I mean, look, people are like, look, whatever scouts, whatever these teams, they're definitely taking notice. I can tell you as well, EA Sports is taking notice because on FIFA, which I dabble in on occasion, they gave him like a special card for his performance. I actually have to acquire it by random chance, so I was quite proud about that. You know what I mean? So people definitely taking notice of his performances. There's a lot of positives to talk about, but standout performers for you. I know we have 2 games to cover. I'm gonna mix them up in my head now as well.
So I think the US game, I mean, so fun. I think that was a big game for Laren and David because I think leading up to that, people had kind of been questioning whether they were the strike partnership going forward, if they could work together. And I think that game kind of like put everything to rest in terms of that. El Salvador, I think it was really good to have Eustaquio back. He looked really good as like a calming presence. I thought Oso played well. I think like the El Salvador game obviously was a little different, like tough conditions. Everyone's tired. It's the 3rd game in 7 days. So I think it was like a good team performance overall. The
foul, there was plenty of fouls in that game, if I'm recalling. Like, every time we were going around it was like a takeout.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I'm shocked there wasn't more cards. I mean, it's good that I think we picked up like one that will kind of affect us in the next round, but by then we should have other people back, so it's fine.
Yeah, I thought that game was going to be good because like from the table perspective, like El Salvador with 3 points, depending on the other results, would have been an interesting position. The ref definitely, I know I was watching that with my cousins, and like I was saying that the ref forgot his cards for this one because like he definitely was being very lenient. I probably just didn't quite have the quality, I guess, to do anything to us.
I think it was to be expected, and honestly I was a little worried going into it because we obviously had like the pregame drama. Are they going to play, are they not? I think it lasted for like 20-30 minutes, but still like I wondered whether them coming back in and deciding as a team like, yes, we're going to play, would kind of like galvanize them and be like this big underdog story. And they were just coming off a win as well, but I just felt like they were okay defensively, but like really lacked stuff up front. Like they're Borian made one save, but it really never felt that scary, even when Canada kind of messed up a little bit in the back.
Okay, and I'm like literally mixing the games now, but Borian made another big save tip. I don't know if that's happening to you. It's happening to me, but he made another incredible save where he tipped over the bar. I know it was kind of right at him. I think it was off a corner. Was that the States or El Salvador?
That was the US game. That was off a corner.
That was epic.
That was
good in the air as well, McKenny.
That was a crazy save. I know like he did have to make a couple of saves in the El Salvador game, but they honestly didn't register a shot on goal until like well into the half, like the first half. Like it took a while.
That's why we bring you on for these excellent insights.
It's my notes. Gotta start
honestly, it's true. Even for myself, like watching games, I'm like to think that you have to come on and to commentate on them, like even to make jokes or whatever. Like you have to. It's hard to remember. You have to make notes of the key insights. What were your thoughts on the US game? Obviously, that was look, a very special game. We were able to replicate the victory we had at BMO Field. How was the atmosphere in Hamilton? Shout out to my sister who lives in Hamilton. She didn't go to the game though. Yeah, how was it being there? Like, what were your thoughts on that game?
It was awesome. It honestly, it was great. Like a bunch of us took the train down, met up with a lot of people I know through TFC and Canada Soccer. There was like a bunch of tailgates going on because like obviously the bars still weren't open.
Right.
So everyone just kind of did their own thing and it was a lot of fun. Honestly, it didn't feel like it was half capacity.
That's what I felt watching home.
Yeah. And like I even saw people saying like on social media after, like, come on, like there was more there than they said, but
right.
I don't know. It was great. I felt like even though Canada had so much less possession than the US, it never really felt like we were in trouble. They just like the US just didn't seem to be in it. They just didn't like want it, right? Like, and even I know like TFC did this quite a bit sometimes under Greg Vanney, is like they were okay conceding possession because when they were in possession, they were purposeful with it. And I felt like Canada was like that too. Like they are very good on the counter and they kind of made the most of that.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw the article on ESPN, but Berhalter was talking some crap after the game, saying how they like they played the perfect game and
they don't dominated. Even loss.
I mean that's fine. I mean, realistically speaking, it's overwhelmingly likely. I mean, given the table now, that USA, Mexico, and Canada will advance, and there's definitely interesting there with Panama and Costa Rica. What I'm going to be interested in as well, because this is massively important, is who is that fourth place team going to get? Because I'll tell you right, if there's a big difference between Chile and New Zealand, let's put it that way.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Or of course, there's also the team in the middle, which would be the team from the Asian region, probably in the middle in terms of difficulty.
Right.
Whoever qualifies from there. Because look, New Zealand. I don't want to like New Zealand is okay, but that's like, it is what it is, right?
I mean, although like these like fourth, fifth place teams right now, like mid to bottom table in qualifying for us, like they're inconsistent, right? That's why they are. So I don't know like the history, like statistically what the chances are that like someone from our region making it through from that position. But I don't think it's that great. Like I think we're usually the underdogs going into it, but honestly, as long as we have it wrapped up, like
that's all that matters. I recall years ago, like Uruguay just destroying, if I have it correct, they just destroyed New Zealand in one of those cross, which is understandable. I mean, Uruguay. So I don't like this is a slight tangent. South American qualifying is like Colombia looks like they're out, which is unfortunate, but that's pretty sad. Now, not that we're here talking about that. If I have it correct now, David and Laren are now tied as the top goal scorers in Canadian history. Or did that?
I think David still, I could be wrong, but I think David still, I think he's up to like, sorry, I know in the US game, Laren,
you might be right. Let's pull it up. If we had the technology,
Laren overtook Dero. So I think David still has quite a few to go. Like I think he's still maybe 4 or 5 behind. I don't think he's there just yet because he was.
Yeah, you're right. Laren has 23 and David has 20 and Di Rosario has 22. So I mean, David's ratio is crazy. It's a 0.74. So he's scoring 75% of the time. Which is pretty.
It was funny too with like, so the game Honduras where he scores the chip, right? And I remember the commentator saying like, that's not the kind of goal he normally scores. Like we're used to like kind of the tap-ins from him, both when he's with the national team and when he plays for his club team. But then for him to go and score like another chip in the El Salvador game it's kind of shows like he has some versatility. And like that goal especially too was, I said this on Twitter, like
I saw that
replay, like he was so smart about when he let that go because he had that one defender beat, but the second one was gaining. And if he didn't let go of the ball exactly when he did, like they would have taken him down and it probably would have been a red, fine. But it was, his timing on it was perfect.
Yeah, he's got incredible composure. I guess he's kind of like an old head on young shoulders, but he also has the physical attributes. Like the commentator said this as well, because like he's not the fastest, but he moves quick, but he can also hold it up because he's strong. You know what I mean? So he has those characteristics.
He wasn't even running like full tilt on that either. Like you could tell he still probably could have gone a little faster if he needed to.
Right. And that, yeah, I mean, his positioning also is exceptionally high level. I mean, I know they also showed a clip when they were playing against PSG, and obviously, if I don't know who's playing that game, whether it was Marquinhos, Ramos, or Kimpembe. Like, if you're maneuvering around players like that, I mean, clearly, Miles Robinson or whatever, like, is playing, whoever's playing for the States is going to be light work by comparison. So yeah, it's quite nice. Yeah, I have to crap on the Americans a little bit while we're here.
Can we also talk about like the weirdest goal ever scored in the history of soccer?
Talking about Buchanan's goal?
No, it's Atiba.
Atiba's goal. Oh my goodness, yes. I was actually just finished asking about. I was actually really happy with how Atiba was playing. I love to see him, like, having been around. Like, his career started in 2003. I've got the stats up right now. Buchanan's goal was a bit weird too, but yeah, Atiba's goal was crazy. I was losing on that one. We'll take that. You know what I mean? Like, that, we deserve a goal like that. Like, after all these years.
For all the years in CONCACAF. And it was a little sweeter too, because it's one of TFC's most hated ever players. Zavaleta was like incidentally the assist.
Is he hated by TFC? Like, I'm not familiar with the inner workings, but I know he used to play for us.
Yeah, I would say like a large swath of the TFC fandom really has like this hatred. And I mean, okay, some credit is due there. Like, he has made very bad mistakes and has led to a lot of goals conceded. However, I think like the extreme hardcore hatred is really valid. No, I think part of that also was like, he was Greg Vanny's nephew, so he was playing bad, and so people were like, oh, nepotism. And then
I didn't even know that.
He also, I think it was after we won MLS Cup, he got like a big pay raise, and that was also kind of questionable. But honestly, like, his last year or two in CFC, he took a pay cut. So you know what? Like, I don't feel like he never should have been a starting center back for us, but do I like feel that really irrational hatred for someone that I don't even know, and I'm sure is like an okay person? No, but he was like one of those players that, like, if anything that got posted about him by TFC, people were like, you suck, nephew, we hate you. Very dramatic.
Oh, yeah, I see. Yeah. I mean, look, that's reasonable. I mean, that is funny though. I wasn't aware of that inner workings, and I always appreciate that super fan insight. That reminds me as well. I mean, honestly, the thing that when I was watching the game, this is not a tactical insight at all, but like, Salvador's backup goalie was playing right. I'm like, this guy looks quite short for a keeper.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
that was a tough break for them, because like their goalie went down in warm-ups, right? And so that guy just kind of had to come out. Like,
he was really small though for a keeper though. This is not just me, right? Like, I was like, whoa.
For sure.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
So in March, who do we have we have played March 24th, if I recall.
22nd, 24th.
22nd. Yeah. Okay.
That's the home game.
Is that the home game? Perfect. Yeah. Well, yeah. These are things I should probably know. As a pseudo soccer show host. But yeah, we had a bunch of games in March, and it's like, honestly, like, it was a great time. Like, I brought in like one of my cousins who wouldn't even normally watch games like this, and he was like, looking forward to the next one. And like, we're the boys are bringing us a great deal of joy, and yeah, it's pretty damn sweet.
Yeah, it's exciting times. And honestly, like, even like I've been around for a while, like, watched Canada soccer for a long time. I think we talked in one of the games, like our first games, but it's nice to see finally it getting recognized on a more national stage and people getting excited, even people that like typically wouldn't necessarily cheer for Canada or are focused on like maybe their countries of birth or, their parents' country of birth. It's nice that Canada's like kind of building some excitement, and I think it will just like keep ramping up. Like, Qatar will help. So then when Canada, the US, Mexico host the next one, I think it'll be huge.
Yeah, I agree. And one thing, I don't know if they're going to do this. And I'm sure they haven't decided yet. I wonder if they're going to do an automatic post-birth for that World Cup.
That hasn't been announced yet, because they've never, correct me if I'm wrong, but they've never had 3 host countries like in one World Cup. So I think the question was whether all 3 would get a berth, because that would obviously be like out of the ordinary.
Could be a bigger World Cup as well, though, potentially, maybe by then. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, but who knows? Because like there's also the talk of it being like every 2 years and stuff, right? Which is a nightmare.
That's another story. Yeah, we should talk about that.
We should talk about that.
Yeah. I don't agree with that either. I think that dilutes how special it is for sure. What was I gonna say? Oh crap! I literally just forgot what I was gonna say. That's the worst when you're doing a live video. No, sorry, this is what I was gonna say. I feel like Canada's recent performances, and obviously they have more time to build on this. If Canada continues to be, we'll call us a powerhouse of the region as we are now, I think it's going to be an easier decision for them to give all 3 hosts an automatic spot. If it was USA Mexico, there's no question there would be automatic spots, no question. And I think it's going to make the decision way easier with how we're playing, especially if we win this group. Now, granted, we have to keep up the performances.
Arguably harder, like because if they say, "Oh, we're only giving 2 teams,"
they better not do that. That's absurd.
I know.
I don't even want to.
No, I agree. I think at least like Canada continuing to perform well, there's no reason for them to overlook it, right? And I think given that definitely the US is going to make it in, and then if it was only 2, it'd be between Canada and Mexico. But I mean, us.
One more question as well that I want to ask is I'm on our men's national team Wikipedia page for this slipshod preparation. So Atiba's at 92 caps. How did you feel about his performances, and do you think he's going to make it to 100?
Yeah, I think because I think they'll take him. I think they'll take him on the World Cup squad. So I don't know if there's going to be that many games in between, because there's at least 3 more, but friendlies. I feel like Nations League is maybe before, or at least they're drawing for Nations League before World Cup. I definitely think he'll make it to 100. I think honestly, looking at his goal should tell you he's still in it. He still has the legs, right? He played quite a lot of minutes in this cycle, and the fact that they've showed the recap a bunch of times, but he literally starts at half, and even his run is so smart because he kind of books it for a while, eases up, not sure if Laren's gonna keep the ball, be able to put in a cross, and then when he sees Laren's got past his man, just kind of goes in. And the fact that someone is 38 turning 39 and has those legs, someone in the post-game show said, and I agree with this, there's no other midfield in the world right now at his age doing what he's doing, right? And
he's always had a good engine, so I had a friend of mine who doesn't watch much soccer and didn't know who Atiba was for context, and was oh, this guy's really impressing me. So there you go. It's always interesting insight to get that kind of feedback as well. You know what I mean? He definitely stood out.
He's known as Canada's most famous or best player that's not actually known for being the best player, because he arguably is one of the best athletes Canada's ever had, and yet outside of the soccer world, could many people tell you his name? No, they couldn't, which is sad. But he came up in a time where the Canadian national team was crap, right? So it's nice.
He deserves what's going on now.
So getting to the World Cup, I think would be you can't leave him out of the
100 caps in a World Cup appearance. I mean, to be playing. I follow his career. I followed him since Copenhagen, so it's really awesome. It's really awesome. He's putting in the work, and he did look really good. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, all right, sweet. Well, I'm gonna end it on that only because I literally have to go back to work right now. But it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure as always. And we got a lot more to talk about. Infinite things to talk about. And look forward to the next one, Lauren. Thanks for your insights.
Talk later.
All right, catch you later, guys. Should have had this.